Hello, in this video I'm going to be playing the original Castlevania, but I'm only allowed to use the whip. This means that I'm not allowed to use sub-weapons. One quick point I want to make is that you may occasionally see me with a sub-weapon, but that does not mean I'm going to use it. I just picked it up by accident. This is stage 1 of the game, and it's very easy even without sub-weapons. It has you fight zombies, black leopards, bats, and mermen, but none of those enemies are challenging to defeat. The boss for this stage is the vampire bat, which, just like the level, is easy. My strategy for this boss is you wait for it to swoop down, and then attack it. I am not the best at dodging it, so I do take some damage, but I end up defeating it relatively quickly. This is stage 2 of the game, and is another easy level. Medusa heads make their first appearance in this level, and can be annoying in this section because they can easily knock you off. However, I actually use them to my advantage. I purposefully take damage so I can skip this section. These spikes instantly kill you, no matter how much health you have if you do so much as touch a single pixel of them. I end up dying twice to them, but I eventually make it through. The boss of this level is Medusa, and is honestly even easier than the first boss. It moves back and forth and releases snakes, but all I really have to do is crouch and keep attacking. This kills the snakes and takes down the boss in no time. At the start of this level, Fleamen make their first appearance. They can be very annoying enemies if you let them bounce around, so I kill them as soon as possible. At this section, if you jump off, a ghost enemy will spawn, but if you drop down without jumping, it won't appear. These ravens sometimes give me trouble, but I get through them easily this time. The rest of the level is straightforward until the boss, mainly consisting of Medusa heads, bone pillars, skeletons, and more ravens. The boss of this level is the Mammy Man, or Mammy Men in this case. There is a food item in one of the blocks to the left, but I don't recommend getting it just yet, because if you leave the block there, this boss becomes much easier. Their projectiles cannot reach me up on this platform, so all I have to do is wait here until an opening, then drop down and attack. This stage used to give me a lot of difficulty when I first started playing this game, but I have gotten a lot better at it. I mainly just need to be careful of the mermen that jump out of the water and the bat enemies, as they can easily kill me by knocking me into the water. In this section, all I have to do is hold forward and kill the Fleamen as the eagles drop them. They can be really hard to kill if you let them build up, so kill them as quick as possible. Now, there's a bone dragon to fight, but you can actually just keep putting forward and avoid it. There are 2 more bone dragons coming up. The first of which I just damage boost past, as there's a hidden food item right next to it. For the next dragon, I just jump over it quickly. Now, I have to fight Frankenstein and Igor. I start out by crouching on this platform and attacking, which allows me to get in some damage before Igor jumps off. For the rest of the boss, I don't really have a strategy, I just keep attacking and avoid damage when possible. I almost die, but I defeat the boss in time. This is one of the most difficult levels in the game. The level starts out with 2 Fleamen immediately charging towards you, and then has you fight enemies such as skeletons and X-Men. The X-Men are some of the strongest enemies, taking many hits to defeat. At this part of the level, there is actually a secret. If you keep putting forward at this wall, a 1-up will appear down the stairs. Make sure to grab this hidden health item in the wall, as the next room is infamous for being extremely difficult to get through. It has you fight X-Men while avoiding Medusa heads. As you can imagine, it's even more difficult without being able to use sub-weapons. On my first attempt, I end up dying. On my second attempt, however, I make it through with half of my health remaining. Now, it is time to confront the boss of this level, Death, also known as the Grim Reaper. I actually beat this boss before on my channel with an upgraded whip, so if you want to see a better run at this boss, watch that. Anyways, during this attempt I end up doing really well, and manage to get the boss to 2 bars of health, but I end up dying. On my next attempt I do really bad, barely getting the boss to half health. I somehow do even worse on my third attempt, despite making it there with full health. However, on my fourth attempt I am successful. I am now at the final level of the game. Remember the vampire bat boss from the first stage of the game? This level starts out with 5 of them, but they aren't actually that difficult to get past. Next, you have to fight skeletons and then dodge eagles that drop Fleamen. This part isn't actually that difficult if you're quick about it. It is now time to face the final boss of this game, Dracula. His first phase consists of him teleporting around the arena and shooting fireballs. To beat him, you have to hit his head. To successfully dodge the fireballs, make sure to only jump over them after he shoots them. If you jump too early, he will shoot them upwards and you will take damage. During the second phase of the boss, he starts jumping around and occasionally shooting fireballs. He either jumps really high or really low. When he jumps low, you cannot walk under him. However, he will eventually corner you and you will be forced to walk under him. To ensure that he jumps high, I stand right next to him and crouch. I'm not sure if you need to crouch for this to work, but I've always done it. I do really good on my first attempt and almost defeat him, but I end up dying. I also die on my next 2 attempts. On my 4th attempt, I accidentally forgot to pick up the second whip upgrade, meaning my whip is shorter than usual. However, this mistake actually helped me out a lot during his second phase. Because my whip is shorter, I had to stand closer to the boss to attack him. Turns out that if you stand right next to him, he won't shoot any fireballs. So me forgetting to upgrade my whip fully actually made this boss a lot easier. With Dracula defeated, the Castlevania whip-only playthrough is completed. It was a fun challenge and I recommend trying it out if you enjoy this game. And if you enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a like and subscribing. That's all I have to say, so see you next time.